Hey guys, so as you should know, Metamorph has increased difficulty. Metamorph bosses are pretty scary up close range. Monsters have more life and now they even have more armor. So I wanted to see how would melee feel like, and especially pure physical build. So I decided to try this Gladiator, a mix between, I guess, the balance between tankiness and damage. So it's not the highest damage, it's not the most tankiness, but I think it's pretty good balance between that. And I wanted to see how it will feel with Bladestorm, because I never played Bladestorm. So I guess I'm trying to shoot three birds with one stone. Try melee, try Bladestorm, and try physical build. The build starts off pretty cheap. All you need is some kind of body armor, 6 link, and then a Scava sword. And from there you can reach like tier 10 maps without too much issues. But you can upgrade a lot more. You can get the helmet enchantment, you can get a better weapon. I bought the weapon for 2x, like two sucker thumb fist. I have one sucker thumb fist. Better jewels, maybe better amulet, rings, shield. There are so many things you can do to increase the damage even more. And I believe I reached a sort of decent balance between tankiness and damage, and I'm pretty happy with this build. I was actually pretty surprised how tanky it feels against certain bosses, like the banner boss that people keep having issues with, the Conqueror banner boss. I keep forgetting his name. I could face tank even tier 15 one. Well, I did occasionally get one shot, but the fight was not difficult in lower tiers, and the real difficulty starts at around tier 12 for this build. If you use Scava, it may start at around tier 10. But if you just slowly keep farming, keep upgrading items, it just does everything you want. Now I'm gonna go deeper into details about this build and the items, the passive skill tree, the links. And as always, path of building import code will be in the description. But before we move on, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, print the video, put it under your pillow, sleep on it, you know, the usual things. I will reveal my hairs at 20,000 subscribers, so be sure to do those things. And just a quick plug, I have a merch like this hoodie, t-shirts, mugs. I'm gonna leave a link in the description, but let's move on to the rest of the video. You know what, actually I'm gonna start with PUB this time, because I'm gonna keep forgetting this, to mention this. You can actually get a better version of PUB. It's, I believe, called Locals Identities Fork version. I don't have a link to that, these links are not correct. But if you search for Locals Identities for PUB, you will find it, and it's better because you can add Pantheon powers. It does properly calculate Impale, it does properly calculate Shock. You can basically add 18% Shock, which by the way I forgot to do, and it's just a better PUB. So that being said, the build is not the highest DPS. This is only the 30 rage stacks. With 50 it would be higher, and this is only from the initial hit, not the Bladestorms. So overall it's like over 700,000 DPS combined, which is not that great, but it did feel quite alright, I would say. And the build is pretty simple: getting Impale, getting Fortify nodes, getting some tankiness, getting life, and then sword nodes, and obviously crit. Gladiator, because it's a good balance between speed, damage, and tankiness. You get block, you get speed from charges, and it works pretty well. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't play melee that much, so this may not look like the best build. I mean, this works for me, so it should work for you as well. Now, onto the items. So like I said, you can start with Scava, and I was using Scava for quite some time. Scava is, this one is 272 total physical DPS, but it also gives global increase crit chance, so that's nice if you got 3 greens. And this new weapon that costed me 2 exalts is 341 physical DPS. I could use Hillock to increase the quality a bit more, and it would be even a bit more DPS, but I am using brutality, so physical damage as extra hairs does nothing for me, and cold damage obviously as well. My body armor is just some generic body armor. Sacrificial guard body armor, item level 106 link, is pretty cheap. I can't remember how much I paid for it. You can get much better body armor, but you just need a 6 link, and I am using Bladestorm linked with brutality, Fortify, melee physical damage, rage, and impale. I wasn't using rage all the time, but with Skaver it's pretty slow weapon, so rage does make it feel better because you get speed with rage stacks and it just feels better. Multistrike did not like using multistrike at all. I also have for the Aura's precision and skitterbots. You kind of have to find the right spot, the right level of precision for you. Depends on how much mana you consume and how much mana you have on reserve. For me, since I got the ring with minus total mana cost, I can reserve a bit more mana and use a bit higher level precision, but you may not be able to use higher level precision. You may be able to use like level 5 or 6 precision. And I am not using Pride Aura. I hate the condition of Pride Aura that the boss has to stand inside the AoE for 4 seconds to get the full benefit. So I decided to go with the Flesh and Stone and Dread Banner. You do need Dread Banner to reach 100% Impale chance. And Flesh and Stone is... you need some kind of stance changing stance, I guess. During the Sand version, when you release Bladestorms and walk in those Bladestorms, you get increased movement speed, but only in those Bladestorms, but switch to Blade Stance when you are dealing with the single target to just have more DPS. Then I have one Sakatom Fist with the Murderous Eye inside it to get the Intimidate on hit effect, and I have Leap Slam linked with faster attacks and Culling Strike, but I also recently added Reckoning with life gain on hit and Culling Strike. For the belt, I found this one myself and did not look for any better, but you could use like Stygian Wise craft with Jagged Fossils for increased physical damage. Damage wise you can do a lot more things, but you still need to be able to tank bosses. So this belt has percentage life and flat life. This is, I believe it dropped from Incursion. Sorry, not from Incursion, from the Metamorph bosses. The boots, just life, movement speed, resistances. Some intelligence may also be needed because I don't have a lot, and you do need intelligence for a couple of things like skitterbots, but you don't actually need to level skitterbots that much. Shield, just try to get global physical damage, attack speed, or open suffix to be able to craft like chance to deal double damage, and then just life and the resistances. I did buy a Star Conjure with Bladestorm deal 40% increased damage, and this is actually slightly better overall DPS than extra Bladestorm, because extra Bladestorm well only adds extra Bladestorm, but it doesn't increase the other 3 Bladestorm's DPS. So overall the Bladestorm deal 40% increased damage is slightly better than extra Bladestorm, but you don't really need this enchantment. The helmet did not cost that much, like 50-60 heals, something like that on a Star Conjure, and you may want Star Conjure because of increased attack speed and global critical strike chance. Especially if you are using Skaver, you do need that increased attack speed. The amulet also found it myself, did not look for any better, just life resistances, crit multiplier, flat physical damage or attack speed would be nice, and I did anoint with the Dazzling Strikes, which is this one. Gives global accuracy, increased critical chance against blinded enemies, and gives you a chance to blind on hit with attacks. So you don't need Abyss Jewels with blind on hit. Rings, another ring also got from the Metamorph, flat life, percentage life, and then resistances. And dexterity is also needed because you do need around 212 dexterity for decent foil. Another ring is steel ring. If you want more tankiness, go with Vermilion ring. But you definitely want that minus total mana cost of skills, because it does cost quite a bit of mana. I do have 2 jewels which has mana leech and mana gain on hit. Those are not very expensive if you get lucky, like 5 to 10 C, and I believe you kind of do need 2 of them, especially if you do not have a jewelry with minus total mana cost. So I do have two like these, because I did not go for this. It's not really worth traveling here if you can get leech elsewhere, like here. I got leech on this one, and then also from the Blood Rage, and then you get mana leech on a jewel. Then, like I said, I got Red Banner, Ancestral Protector for more attack speed. You could use Ancestral Worship, and but I really hate using like multiple things. The fewer buttons I need to click, the better I play. I also got casting damage taken linked with Molten Shell and vulnerability. You can replace vulnerability with like Enfeeble if you need more tankiness. Also got Flesh and Stone linked with Maim, and that's pretty important. Once you switch to Blood Stance, it's gonna increase your damage a lot more. Without Maim, Flesh and Stone would make nearby enemies take 16% increased physical damage, but you link it with Main and it now does 30% more. And I also have Cast on Death linked with Portal. I haven't died that many times, but 21 times. The scariest part for this build is scarce damage over time, especially if you get poisoned. There are so crazy damage over time grounds that you just walk it and you have no way of even reacting to it. You just die. And I do have some heals, but if you can, definitely try to get some heals assistance. It will save you many times. But if it's hits, you probably can face tank it, especially if it's physical hits. Now, just to quickly mention, the passive skill tree I already showed, so I'm not going to talk about it. But first I went for the arena challenger just to get the speed. It helps with the leveling process. And then Painforge, versatile combatant to get the block thing, and then from Overlap this one. I should probably mention Blast, and you could use Lion's Roar instead of normal granite. We probably don't even need normal granite. I just didn't want to reroll my flask. I need freeze removal and I need that curse removal, and I didn't want to reroll it again. And on Sulfur Flask I rolled the increased attack speed during flask effect, so that also increases my damage quite a bit more. And it recharges when I deal critical strike, so that's nice. And for this build I normally run at least 2 life flasks, but for this build I did not feel like I need more. Just some kind of bleed removal. It would be better to have instant life flasks, but like I said, didn't really want to re-roll my flasks. And as for the build, that's basically it. It was actually a pretty satisfying build, and I'm gonna continue playing this until at least I get the Awakener with this build, and I may upload a separate video just with the Awakener fight. Again, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, because I'm gonna be doing more like off meta builds and trying to test more things this league. And also, if you want to support, check the merch store. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.